Hello, guys. Welcome, everyone. Here's our first new uh, format of stream. I'm really happy to make that because something really new. As we mentioned some time ago, we want to give you a global vision of the whole industry. We think it's really important, not only focusing in production, also focusing in management, event planning, how to I don't know make plans for releasing tracks, everything, how the record labels work. So this time we're gonna start with a good friend of mine, Sam Benson. Welcome, Sam.
Right.
He's the CEO and founder of Pretium Management and CEO and co-founder of Jayem'S Management. I'm glad you're here, bro. I couldn't imagine I never done that. So
Thanks for having me.
please, uh, I'd like to start this interview just asking you, who's Sam Benson? Tell us about you.
So, Sam Benson is so I live sort of fairly close to Liverpool, about 10-15 minutes away. But so I've sort of been in the industry for quite a while. I sort of got into DJing when I was about 13. So that's when things sort of really started for me. So DJing for quite some time, like doing local gigs, and all that kind of stuff. And I was started getting club residencies and things like that when I was about 17, 18. And then it sort of got to a point for me in my career where I needed to take the next step essentially, and that would have been through producing, but I had to go at producing that. It just wasn't sort of for me really. It's not something that ever massively interested me. So at that point, I went down the on the tour management sort of route at that point, and that's sort of where things kicked off really, and just rolled on from there. And I've done various different things. So I've been involved with a radio when I was a bit younger. So these guys from around mine, his name's Dave, and like, he's done a lot for me. Um, Give me opportunities really, that I never would have had, and it gave me great insight into to different aspects of the industry. But yeah, that's pretty much who I am,
Yeah.
in terms of music. And just like fell in love with music when I was at such a young age, and I've just never ever lost that love for music. And you know that I don't do this, for financial gain or anything like that. I do it, for the love of music, and that's what makes it so special, I guess.
hmm Just guys, for letting you know, Sam is even younger than me. I'm 25. He's 22?
23, man.
22,
Yeah, I love
23.
23.
23. And I just wanted to let you know that because I really admire him. Even he's younger than me. Sam for me is like, wow, he's Sam Benson, man. He's a really big guy, honestly. I mean, absolutely for me, it is. I really admire you, brother.
I appreciate
All right, so let's move to the next question. Could you please explain us about your companies, about Pretium Management and Secure Artist Management, please?
it. So the original company, Pretium Management, that was founded first. Um, like I said, I went into tour management, but it was sort of official, if you like. It wasn't sort of, it was just I was learning on the job because that's how I learn. If you put me through a university course or a college course, I'd really struggle. I'm such like on the job kind of learning, and that's something that to consider. I think with people in the industry, like there's different ways of learning, different ways of achieving things. Not necessarily, going to university or getting a degree or going to school or college or whatever that may be. So yeah, so I was doing that, and then it sort of got to a point for me where I was working with my second client now, and things were starting to get a bit more serious. And so at that point, I established Prem Management. That was in late 2017. Prem actually stands for tour. It's tour in Latin. It's a bit of a fun fact there. So yeah, so that originally was a tour management company. That was all I knew at the time. Obviously, I've got my experience in DJing, but that was, and I love tour management. It's like one of the funnest thing I've ever done in my life. Getting to travel and being involved in the industry, but then it sort of evolved around. I got another client after that, DoD, and at that point, I was asked to do management. Things sort of rolled on from there. So I like to think that Pretium Management is, and I now do event management as well. I like to think it's quite a broad company. But things are always changing, and obviously with what's going on at the moment with the virus, who knows sort of what tomorrow brings. But yeah, so Pretium Management is event, tour, and artist management. And then the other project, which is fairly new, secure artist management, Sam. That's with a friend of mine. So he's from Liverpool, so fairly close to me. He works a lot out in Ibiza. Essentially, it's quite funny how it all come about. So I ran a show in January, and I needed sort of obviously security to work the event. I knew of Colin, and we sort of got in touch. But I knew he's not just your average sort of door supervisor. He's like close protection and bodyguard. So I asked him if he'd do it. To be honest, I didn't think he was going to do it, which was high sort of skill set. And we sort of started working on this project for the show, and then to be honest, I can't remember how it actually come about, but essentially this new brand is my tour management skills alongside his sort of close protection and bodyguard skills and into one to take that sort of package on the road. I'm actually quite excited about what that will what the future holds for that in terms of what sort, because we can target a much higher clientele with that, who need a bodyguard but a tour manager, and I think it's fairly unique the product. So fingers crossed, it should be quite exciting times ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. Something like that never could come into my mind. I mean, I don't know, never seen something like that. All right, you have some security companies, you have these tour management companies, but never
That's
seen something like that, bro. I
it's
mean, you had a great idea, honestly.
yeah, that's it, and honest, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to work with Colin on that project, and that's how I sort of go about things. I find that once you start working with people, you networking with people, you can establish sort of relationships and
Yeah.
potential projects and that. And that's how I work with everything in the industry. Like to sort of associate with them, and things just from that really. So it's a sort of a big bit of advice I'd give to even producers who can, and say if you want your dream collab with X, you're not necessarily going to get that straight away. But if you're associating with them in whatever way possible, with a much higher chance of it actually happening then.
Mhm. This kind of services you're offering with Sam is a really premium services, if I could say, because something that probably none of my guys would need. Actually, only the top 100 DJ mag maybe could
Yeah,
need something like that, and
that's what
it's
I
something
think.
that never thought before about
That's
something
it.
like that. It's kind of, oh damn, I mean, you
Yeah,
have to spend like lots of money for getting some security guards, uh, and also someone who can be with you for organizing all the hotels, transportation, everything to that venue, but never someone that could do
everything.
both. Well, actually, you are two, your partner and you're in charge of everything, and that's
Everything.
really cool. That's
That's
really
it. And
really cool.
with the tour management, sort of, I'm not sure if people know what a tour manager is, but tour manager is responsible for everything logistically on the road. But so the knowledge base, you have quite a vast skill set, really. I guess like you have to obviously have knowledge of travel and transport. When you're sort of getting into the club, you need to know sort of sound systems, technical systems, all that kind of stuff. You know, you have to build a relationship. So you've got all that aspect of it. Then you bring sort of Colin's skill set into the mix,
Mhm.
sort of do both on the road. And he said that it is for the higher sort of clientele there, but it is a fairly unique sort of product. And I think who knows what can happen with it. Could be quite interesting.
Yeah. Also, I know, brother, that you work on event management, event planning for some companies. What we've been talking about like a while ago. Uh, can you please let us know a bit more? Something like something curious about this event management and event planning. Something that obviously you can tell us. Something not really confidential, you know.
I worked for so again, sort of the way that my career's sort of rolled over. I work a lot. I found myself working a lot in events, sort of recent over the last 12 months. And to be honest, I'm very event focused. Each sort of client that I tour managed for ended up involved with the event then, and sort of things progressed from there. So now I've got like a decent skill set in events, so I'm able to um, sort of. So it got started off with just event management, so I wouldn't necessarily get involved with the promotion of it, but everything I point onwards, I would deal with. So it's basically like tour management reversed. So I was working for a company at the start of the year. They're based in Liverpool. Slightly, not necessarily dance, but they do all sorts of different events there. So um, I was an event manager for them for a couple of months, and that it's a different product, but it's the same. Everything's the same. The infrastructure's the same. Whether it be a rock band that's playing, whether it be a DJ that's playing. To be honest, if a rock band's playing over more than a DJ, get a little bit more complicated in terms of the technical.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so I used to work um, the NHS with service in England, but I left there at the start of the year or go full time in music. I guess probably wasn't the best timing with the virus and stuff, but been a lot learned this year, and it's yeah, it's this cross should be a bright future.
Yeah, before talking about how's going to be the industry after the virus, I like to um, I like to ask you, can you tell me some milestones that you achieved? Maybe someone that you work with, something like that.
So so my first sort of client that I worked with was Corey James, but I was really sort of novice in the industry then, really new to it. And I built my skill set up in the tour management sort of game, and I was asked to work for LA, which I used to be like I used to be a big fan of his music, and also I found that a big milestone. He actually asked me to cover one of his shows, just as an off chance because he lost a flight or something like that. And I covered it, and he was impressed with what I'd done, and then he's asked me to do it. So I toured with him for a summer a few years back, and that was super interesting. Like we worked with like some
Mhm.
Elro, like Warehouse Project and stuff like that. So it was like top level club nights and stuff. So it was super interesting, and things that you learn dealing with them sort of brands is amazing. And I've worked with likes of Tomorrowland and stuff like that, and they're the kind of people that you look at and learn off them, and and take it home. Then so I've run their club nights, these DJs, and I've done one of my own events, which I found as a bit of a milestone start of the year. Everything that I've learned on tour, obviously management, like you bring it back to to your club night, and I found that such a great way of learning. Everything that you've learned on the road, and so on that stone.
That's great. That is. I also like to ask you about your last tour with DoD. Damn,
I saw,
I've seen like a lot of videos from you
yeah,
guys. That was really, really amazing. I hope I
oh
can do
yeah,
something like that sometime because
oh,
I've
man,
seen
like
your, how you were interacting with you between yourself. Like, it was like,
yeah, yeah.
damn, had a lot of fun with it.
Me and DoD have a really good relationship, man. It's we're friends and whatever else, and just like the last tour that we've done was America in January, and done New York and LA, and it was just I love America anyway, but I was to go on tour. That was the first time I toured there. It's just so fun, so cool to go over there. Like the club, there was two different clubs as well, which is really good because usually when you go on tour, the club quite similar. Club in New York was a bit different, and then we've done a club in called Avalon that was like really sick. But like I said, though, go to these clubs and speak to promoters and deal with them and all that kind of stuff. Every show that you go to, you just learn something new. So, and that's how I've built the brand. Um, I'm gathering information all the time. I'm learning all the time, seeing it firsthand, sort of thing, and that's how I'd learn the best. Is like I said, if you sat me in a classroom, I probably wouldn't learn much. But if you put me out on the road, if it's something I don't know, I'm bound to learn a lot more.
Mhm.
So I don't know, just super. I feel like I've been a bit blessed, really. Opportunity that I've got to go out on the road so much. It's led to so many other things. Like my night in January, I wouldn't have been able to put that on if I hadn't been out and
Mhm.
been on the road and whatnot. So yeah,
That's great. All right, so let's move on to some more technical questions in terms of management. People would like to know what should an artist focus on the most.
a good question. Obviously, production is a massive part, but I've managed a couple of guys now, and I think things have changed now in the industry. There's a lot of social media presence required. I always say, I'd probably say it's about 50-50 in terms of 50% production, 50% business. That includes sort of your social media, your marketing, your relationship with labels and stuff like that. You can be making the best and timing as well. You can be making the best sort of music, and
Mhm.
you're just not getting into the right hands, sort of thing, or just no proper strategy in place there, and you can be sort of missed out there. So I think focusing on a proper plan, a strategy, as well as marketing and stuff like that is just as important as production. I guess
Yeah.
that's where, I mean, it's easy to say that if you're talking about a big level artist who has a management, who's got a team. The lower level guys who haven't got a manager yet, that's where you have to get the balance right in all that. They will naturally just spend the majority of the time in the studio making music. But most of them don't think about business aspects of it. And that's not what they want to do. They want to make music, don't they, and do shows. But you have to take that into account as well at first. Understand sort of where you want to go and how you're going to get there, kind of thing.
Yeah, I like to ask you also something like that. Most of the young producers, young DJs, think or have this misconception that if you have a manager, you're gonna break into the scene. You're gonna get best releases ever. You're gonna get the best shows. I don't know. I like to ask you, what do you think about this? Because in my opinion, it's a misconception.
I
What do
mean,
you think?
you're totally right there. Like, people have asked me for advice on as an artist, you've got to make a decision as to A, when to get a manager, and B, who the manager is. You know, You have all different types of management companies. Like, so for prime example, my management company, your management company, is probably quite different. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
what I would do for what do would probably be two different things. Therefore, would suit artists a lot different depending on who they are. But them picking the right manager is, to be honest, you could probably rush into getting a manager that could fire, I guess, and it could not. It's I see it as you know, obviously a manager that has they decide where the career goes in terms of, you know, what sort of next step and stuff like that. So, you know, it's quite important that they are there making the right decisions.
Exactly. Basically, guys, just wanted to add that manager is something that is gonna help you, not gonna get you everything.
Oh no,
I
that's
mean,
it. It's got to be realistic.
exactly. Before getting a management, it's really important to learn how to self-manage your own project. I mean, a manager for you guys could be someone that could give you some impulse to your own project, but if you don't know how to um, work in production, a manager can do basically nothing on your project. The manager only can tell you, all right, just try to do this, do that. But I mean, this happened to me with some guys that I manage.
Yeah.
All right, I manage a lot of people. All right, but if these people didn't know how to, I don't know, to produce, I mean, I can get you best releases. I mean, I can get the release according to your production level.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right, but I can help you. I can teach you how to make a plan, how to organize your own stuff, even making a production program for you if it's necessary. But I can get you the moon if you don't know how to walk. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's it.
something like that.
Yeah. And it
And
comes.
it's something important. Sorry, brother. It's something important that we have to teach to the young generations, because most of them have this misconception that, okay, I'm gonna apply to David Lewis, I'm gonna apply to, I don't know, agency, I'm gonna apply to an agency, and they're gonna, well, nor an agency, David Lewis are gonna pay attention to your project. But um, guys, first of all, a manager is someone that's gonna be with you, helping. That's the main word, help. We're gonna bring you help,
Yeah.
not bring you the best of the best.
Oh, no, that's it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the managers have the power, don't they, to direct and make things happen, I guess. But like I said before, the key part is in your sort of stages in your career as a producer, you have the 50-50 balance. And if you sort of work things out quite well there, you'll know, you know, you'll learn a bit. I wouldn't say go into the business side of it too much, because, you know, you're wasting your time because somebody else can do that for you. But you get a good understanding of, you know, you get a good balance there, and then you'll know when the right time to get a manager is and who that is, and make that decision right. Things will work out. But if, like you said, if they have a misconception of it and they rush into something, it probably won't work out how they anticipate it to.
Exactly. That's it. I mean, I'm I'm working on this industry because helping people, and the point is, I mean, it's our responsibility, brother, to teach. I think, in my opinion, we have to teach young people, well, or not that young, to how that industry works. Because if we put some effort on it, this industry would work like a way better than it actually is. Because this industry is really hard. It's You would meet for sure a lot of bad people,
Yeah, you're
but
right.
if we help each other, this could be a way better, I'm sure. And it's
Yeah,
our responsibility from people that's already in the industry to teach these people who's just getting into, to explain how's that working and how that works, and just guys, take care, just relax, let's
That's
go
That's
step
like
by
a
step.
role. That's one of your roles as a manager. So, and that's something that I've done in the past. So I've managed 3 different now. Each one of them have all been very different, which has been good. They've had different sounds and different things happening. They've been different people as well. That's one thing that I do. I'm a manager. Manage directly as a person. You know what I mean? And then work from there. Then so I know you as a person. I know how you work. I know what you're good at. I know what you're bad at. This is what we can do to really push forward and where we want to go.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I know, James. I know you are asking on the group. Let us finish the little interview, and then we're gonna reply all your questions, right? Uh Also, I think this one is really important. We've talked about management. We've talked about your company. We've talked about you. But how do you see the industry in 5 years? Well, or maybe in 3 months. Who
I was
knows?
going to say, if you'd
It's gonna change a lot.
have asked me that sort of 6 months ago, I would probably give you a different answer to now. But the answer that I'll give you now is, I mean, it's varying from country, isn't it? But the industry is reliant on shows happening. Shows don't happen, industry will, I wouldn't say collapse, but it depends on shows. That's how it evolves. So depending on how soon, I'm feeling quite positive about how things are going. Things are being
Yeah.
lifted, aren't they? Fingers crossed. Back to normal.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Yeah.
End of the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, we had like a lot of plans. I think same as you, and it was like, damn, everything goes
Everything-
went to hell. I mean, we can do nothing right now. Also, like to ask you, I don't know if you had the chance of seeing this. A lot of labels that are owned by big DJs are releasing like 6, 7 tracks a week,
Seen that. I
just
won't, I
for
won't name
getting some savings instead of shows. What do you
label.
think about it?
To be honest, I won't mention the label, but it's run by the big DJs, and I've never run a label, but if I was to ever run a label, I would keep it. I wouldn't keep it the releases like fairly. Um, I wouldn't put them out as much. I would put them out fairly often. On 2 at most a month. Like you said though, with these labels putting tracks out a week, it just becomes so diluted. Like what's good and what's not, and how do I get through all this? How do I listen to all this? It feels though sometimes they're just signing sort of for the fun of it, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah, commonly in EDM seems like 1, 2 tracks a week. All right. But
Yeah,
now I see some labels. I don't want to say names, right? Because I mean, it's okay. It's okay if it works for them. It's okay. But I don't know. It feels like the releases have not the same quality
I don't
as,
know.
I
And
don't know, maybe 3 months ago,
that's it.
because it's like, right, 4 or 5 a week, but it's not possible to put the same effort on promotion,
Oh
of
no,
course. But if they
definitely
gather a lot of tracks for a week, it's 100% sure any of them are not going to be perfect, for sure.
that's
Maybe
it.
1, 2 are going to be good, but the rest, I don't
Like
know.
from a customer perspective, that's what I like to do with things. I'll always put myself in the shoes of the customer. Consumer.
Mhm.
How do they view this? How will they see this? How will they find it? Like so much to get through. It's like probably if a label puts out 2 tracks a month, if you're interested in that, you're going to listen to them, show interest. But if they're putting out 2 tracks a week, it becomes a point where like it is, have I really got the time, or is this as good as what it usually is? To be honest, I think the reason why that they might be doing this now changed is obviously due to what's going on with the coronavirus, and
Yeah,
the outlet now. Beforehand, they would have had releases here, shows here, whatever else, but now they've only got releases to sort of rely on, so they're pushing out as much as they can in terms of releases. So that might explain why that is. But to be honest, I've known labels, which has been doing this for a long time now. It's like it's one of them labels that you want to get. It's like a tech house label. You want to get a release on it, but to an extent where I want somebody I'm working with to get a release on it. Everyone's released on there now. What's it worth? You know what I mean, kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's it. That's it. I
Yeah.
mean, labels. I mean, obviously, music industry is business. Is a big business. Everyone knows it. But maybe I would do it in a different way. Just for trying to not look like 100% business. I don't know.
You can tell with some people it's not about the because I think like with the music industry you get involved in it at the very start for the love of it, don't you? Like you can ask anybody. You don't it's not like working in a supermarket, is it? You
Yeah,
want to go work in a supermarket down the shop to make money, don't you? You just do that and you'll just go. But with what this is, for the love of it, isn't it? And you'll do it and do it and work. You'll stay up till stupid o'clock at night to work on that, and you'll be happy doing that. But I think with some people, though, we're fairly young and fairly, I'd say, quite new to this compared to other people. They might have lost their love for it, I guess.
mhm,
They, it's a bit. You can sort of see what's happened there and how they're doing things the way that they are.
yeah. That's it. All right. So that here is my limit of my prepared questions. I don't know, Sergi, David, Sick. I don't know if you want to ask him anything to Sam. If not, we can proceed with the yeah. Like, we can proceed with the Discord questions. All right. One of the guys asked you, how many countries have you been to?
Good question. It's a lot. I like a lot. Worked with a few different clients now, and it's been a lot. Like there was the one guy I was working for the summer, and 3 shows a weekend at one point. Like I remember um, we done Friday we had quite a big festival in London, and the Saturday we had flew to Ibiza, and the Sunday we went to no sorry the Saturday we had Tomorrowland, then we done Ibiza the same night. It's just that's why I love it so much, the traveling and experiencing different sort of cultures and stuff like that. I really enjoy doing that. But speaking to different people, see how they do, not just necessarily with music, but with life, how they
Mhm.
how they do things there. The culture's different, and it's not the same, but the food. My food.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Oh man! And when we go away, the promoter takes you out for dinner, and I've eaten some good food, to say the very least.
that, that's great. All right. How much do you think technical skills affect two producers?
I
Chance of
think
success and efficiency, etc.
we touched on this before, didn't we? Again, it comes down to I always look at it as the balance, the percentage of 100, and what requirement of that percentage do you want to focus your energy on? I think I look at it as it depends, I guess, on different artists, but maybe 50-50. Like it could be the best producer in the world making the best records, but if they haven't got a proper strategy in place, a team, or not necessarily a team, but a plan, records may never be heard or may never be put into the right hands. Timing may not be right. And a prime example of this is so Camel Fat live so close to me. I've watched them guys do so many different projects in the past, and they've done like things like 3 different projects before this. They're not to the industry. They've been around for years and years. The projects that they've done in the past, timing just wasn't right with them, but they absolutely nailed off that. You know, the timing was
Absolutely, they're killing
like,
it.
for example, they. I mean, this is just hearsay, but if they released Cola maybe 5 years ago, they may not be as big as they are today, kind of thing. So looking at the timings of things is super super important. So again, that comes down to production skills are important, but or sort of you gotta have a knowledge of the industry kind of thing and relationships with people and a plan.
Absolutely. All right. So James Island asked you, how do you know when an artist is ready to start looking for or working with a manager?
It's a good question.
Interesting.
A really good question. It's hard to say, really. I mean, it all depends on them and what sort of what music they're making, where they want to take things. I've worked with different um, sort of levels of artists, which has been really good. Work with someone, the
Mhm.
bottom looking for releases, and someone who's well established releasing tracks. Labels. This is like a really good example. Like other guy, we were sending demos out to labels, and it was a different scene, but same concept. You as labels weren't getting back to us. Some were, some it's hard to get. You know what I mean? To get the demos listened to and get relationships with um, labels, but with the other guy, had people asking us for releases, kind of thing. So it's all down to, I guess, circumstance of the person. Good question. It's hard to say. I don't think there's any point where you'd say, right, this is where you need a manager at this exact point. It all
Exactly.
depends on who they are, what again, the big ones, what their work ethics like. I know people who users who give
I
up.
just can tell you one thing. Frustration cannot be the starting point. I
I
mean,
know.
if you feel frustrated, you can get right. You can feel frustrated because of a lot of things that could happen to your life, but you don't have to start looking for a manager. You feel frustrated because your project is not going on. I mean, first of
Say
all,
that.
you need to relax and order your own ideas, and then right, maybe you can decide if you need a manager or not. But you cannot start looking for a manager if you feel frustrated with your own project. I mean, that's
Uh,
not the point.
would be that if you're looking at it from like that would be the worst time to get a manager. I think that's like I think in terms of what position you're in when it's the right time to get a manager. I think you've got to be comfortably knocking out tracks. You're confident with yourself. You've found a good sound, and you have. Although it's the manager's job to get direction, you've got some sort of direction yourself as to where you want to take things, and then you build together, then kind of thing. Whereas, for example, like you said, if you want to get a manager when you're frustrated, it's probably not going to work out because sort of a combined effort there. Like you sort of need to give me guidance as to where you want to take things, and then see what I can do with it, kind of thing. If you're frustrated, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Also related with this question, James asked, if an artist is ready, how should they go about looking for a manager?
It's another
Oh,
good question, man.
never been in that situation or never been a manager, so can't tell you in my
Yeah, I
in
think it
my
works.
opinion. So,
I think it works both ways, but with like your big top level managers, I think the artist will contact them and show interest in being managed by them, or vice versa. I guess there's no sort of way, and it's hard to say really. It depends on the circumstances.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Right. NRDH asks, which major festivals are you connected with, and what is the process for playing at these major festivals, especially in the perspective of smaller and upcoming artists?
So probably Creamfields, to be honest, because I've right where I live, and I used to go there a lot when I was a lot younger, and then obviously I started working there. I mean, I guess, and so did he say he's entry level sort of? What was the last bit of the question? He said he was.
What is the process for playing at major festivals for a young artist, for a coming artist, something that couldn't break into the scene, has not a big numbers on socials, also on streams like that, something like that.
Yeah,
Also, I think small releases, something like that.
well, I think for putting Creamfields as an example, they have what's called hospitality tent there. It's not main stage, small arena,
Hmm.
and they tend to go for the local talent. But in his case, it'd just be about networking, establishing who to contact are, who's influential there. And, if you can get in front of that person yourself, I'm X, Z, Y, and this is who I am. This is what I do. And I'm interested in playing a slot. If you're nice and friendly, things do happen that way. That's how I found things have happened a lot. Networking,
Hmm.
if you're around people, that helps. But I guess just another way would be to establish sort of who's running things there, their email, send them a polite email. Just I guess understanding how it's structured in terms of or the other way is if he builds himself as an artist, and then he would then want to approach him. And then if he did get that gig, quite important for him to use that well. There's different. I've seen so many people do this. They've come in, they haven't just got some tracks coming out, but they're not very well known. And they managed to secure like a bit, really big gig, and you have to use that to your advantage. Use it for momentum, and like even stuff like when you get, say if you've got on a lineup for a festival, you've got an artist wristband. The weekend there, talking to managers, DJs, agents, and the ball can just get rolling that way really well.
I have a
Exactly.
I have a question like related to that. Um, last 2 years I've been trying to get to Creamfields, for example, not just like a backstage pass. How do you network with like the festivals to actually get like a backstage pass or
So
like something to network with them? Yeah.
I guess it's a case of, to be honest, this was sort of what I done when I was a lot younger. So I went to my first festival at 13. I realised that at that festival, this is where I want to work. This is what I want to do. But at that time, I didn't know that I wanted to do that. But I had no idea, how can I get behind there and speak to them people kind of thing. But you just have to associate yourself with people. If whether that be because the industry is a very close knit community. Just because someone's not at the festival doesn't mean that they have no involvement in it. So it's just about building relationships with as many people in the industry as you can. That will benefit you. Even not necessarily something specific. Just build relationships anyway, because things will come about that, and that's one of the most important things I've ever done. Is network. That's how I've got most of my clients, to be honest. Meeting them and things like that. You just need to find an opportunity.
Hmm. Yeah, and related to that, NRDH also, what do what can managers do to help artists to get big festivals and these kind of gigs?
A manager, a good manager, which is something that I focus on a lot, is having relationships with these agents and
Hmm.
promoters, speaking to as many people as you can, and building solid relationships with these people, because you know, they can really help you. If you've got a good relation, I mean, it depends, I guess. That's what a good manager will bring to the table. It is good, solid relationships across the industry. That be with other managers, DJs, other agents, promoters. Then once the artist is managed by that manager, they can have their network of people, and all of a sudden it can be used on that artist.
Hmm. exactly. Me and you share some common thoughts about the industry. I think one of the main points for networking right now is to be really personal for the record labels, for the even promoters, all that, for building a strong relationship. I don't know if you agree with that. I
I
can
mean,
imagine yes, but
I
I don't
like
know.
the way I work is quite personal. I am a personal person. You know, if I have a relationship with somebody, a really, really good one. I guess labels and whatever else they'll all work in different ways. They have different structures in the company, but you get the opportunity to build a really personal relationship with a label, for example. That's a really sort of powerful thing for you there. Yeah, so if you get the opportunity to do that, I would advise it.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys. I don't know if any of you have any other question. Maybe some of you who are not here in the stream can also drop some question in this chat, maybe in the video comments, and Sam will reply, or even
Yeah,
us. I don't know.
fine.
Guys, if you want to type any other question, feel free to do it.
If someone's
If
got a question
not,
at sort of at a later date, I'm happy to answer.
yeah. Well, the chat is not moving right now, so I don't know, Sam. I don't know if you want to talk about anything else. Also, maybe promote your own social media. Feel free to do it. That's your home.
And I've got two Instagram accounts, and my Instagram account is @ Sam _Benson, and then my find all my pages on there. So I've got the Secure Artist Management and Pretium Management there as well. If anybody has any questions, then they're welcome to.
I know James Island is typing. Let's see. Let's wait a minute. Well, Sam, I mean, I can words can describe how I feel right now. I mean, I'm talking with you with one of my brothers in the industry for helping young guys, develop their projects. For me, it's really, I don't know. I can describe it, honestly. It's beautiful. Something beautiful, basically beautiful.
Beauty of it, that's it, and that's it, man. It's like I said at the start, I didn't do this for any financial gain. When I was a lot younger myself, I was given help by people a lot older, a lot more experienced than I was. It just meant so much to me at the time. I'm maybe in a position to help people now who are come through the industry. You know, if I can, I will. I've one thing I forgot to mention is mentorship. Like I have a mentor. You the opportunity to have a mentor or mentor somebody, definitely do it. It's so beneficial. Like there's so many values that it brings.
Absolutely. All right. So, last question from James. Do you think it's more important to release on bigger labels, even it is less frequent, or release more frequently on smaller labels?
Yes, it all depends on where you want to sort of take things, I guess. I mean, if you get, yeah, it's a good question because, like we had the discussion before, if labels are pushing out so much music, and you get the opportunity to do that, it'd be great. But and again, would the limelight of releasing on that label actually be missed to releasing so much? To be honest, I sort of had a bit of a situation like this. The label that I mentioned, we were something. It's a goal that we set from the start. We want to release on this label, due to who we can buy and what the opportunities could be, and it's just it's a great label to release on. It's seen upon that as it got to a point for us where and they were knocking out so many tunes. We asked ourselves that should we really be focusing on releasing on this label because they are pushing out so much? What's actually worth to us? But I guess it depends on the situation, what it would bring to you as an artist, and what it could lead to, I guess. And on the other hand, the smaller labels, and it all depends on the track as well, I guess. What it could bring for you.
Exactly. It all depends. It all depends on your own plan, guys. I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes releasing on small labels would help you to get some impact in the industry,
yeah,
to start growing your own project. Then, obviously, aiming for a big label, it's gonna be good because you're gonna receive support. You're gonna get this big impact, but sometimes big labels don't put a lot of effort on
that's it.
on music on
So
music. So
as good as it looks
maybe
to release on that
sorry.
label, as good as it looks for you to release on that label, might not necessarily mean much to you as an artist.
Exactly.
Whereas at a smaller label, release on them, things could happen for you there that might not happen with that bigger label. So I guess just weighing up at the time, best option.
Exactly. Sometimes a small label would take your project as one of the biggest for them and would put
Yeah.
like a lot of effort,
Yeah,
would work really good on publishing, synchro, all that stuff. Maybe it could give you even more impact than releasing, I don't know, on spinning.
exactly.
Just for giving you an example.
Definitely.
But yeah, obviously you need that plan, James. That's what we have to discuss. We need to make a call for making this plan. um, so I think it's a time for closing here the streams.
Oh man, yeah.
It was amazing, bro, to discuss with you. I mean, honestly, it was really beautiful. I consider you my brother. I mean, you're one of the biggest inspirations for me.
Oh, thanks,
you also helped me a lot. Well, we have like an 80 event. Well, I don't know if it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be really really hard to happen this year. But we started planning. We started planning this 80 event between we two. Let's see if we can find. Let's see. I don't know. All right, guys. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. So thank you very much for joining. This stream is gonna be recorded. So I don't know. Oh, two guys are typing. Oh, thanks. Thank you guys for joining. Absolutely, it was a pleasure to be here with you, Sam. Love you, brother.
Too, man. Thank you for having me.
Anything you need, you can count on us. Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much for accepting joining here this stream.
No problem,
right?
Thank you for having me. Take care.
Thank you very much. Bye bye. See ya.